Wisconsin looked impressive in week number 1, but they're jumping up from an FCS opponent to a Power 5 opponent with a contrasting style. Can the up-tempo passing attack at Washington State give the Badgers some issues? Let's preview Wisconsin and Washington State. Before we get into the preview, just a reminder, hit subscribe, ring the bell to stay notified whenever there's an upload, live stream, or any kind of action here on this channel. If you love the B1G, this right here is the place to be. Wisconsin loves good defense, they love to run the ball, and they're a physical, disciplined football team. Washington State, on the other side, they like to throw it around, and we'll get to that in a minute. Interesting game here at Camp Randall Stadium on Saturday. I really like the way Wisconsin approached things in their week 1 game against Illinois State. Graham Mertz only threw the ball 16 times. He completed 14 of those passes. They ran the ball a ton. That is the key to victory. That's the blueprint. That's the formula. That's exactly what you want to see if you're Paul Chryst and Bobby Ingram in this offense. So they're welcoming in a team this week in Washington State that has a quarterback in Cam Ward that could give Wisconsin some problems. This is a Washington State team that's going to look to throw the ball, right? Cam Ward was a second-team FCS All-American last year at UIW, threw for a bunch of yards and a bunch of touchdowns, and at the University of Incarnate Word, UIW, he's bringing a coach from UIW as Washington State's offensive coordinator this season. So there's a lot of UIW football on the Palouse here this season. When I watched the film of Cam Ward in that first game against Idaho, this dude is slippery. He is so good at creating plays with his legs, getting away from the pressure, evading sacks, extending the play, as they say. The big question I have for this Wisconsin defense: can you keep Cam Ward between the hash marks? Okay, because if he gets around and he's running around, right, he's got some Johnny football type of things where he's just being a magician out there, running around, throws it 20 to 25 yards on a dart, and all of a sudden it's a first down. Okay, that's the big thing for Jim Leonhard's defense that he's got to be preaching this week. If we contain Cam Ward, we're going to win the football game. But if he's running around and he's scrambling here and all of a sudden on a 3rd and 6, he's able to get outside the initial pressure, scamper for a 9-yard gain, extend the drive, get another first down, you're going to have troubles. Nothing else really about this Washington State defense really scares me. If I'm Wisconsin in this offense, I want to out-physical them. Washington State is not going to be a physical football team. Wisconsin needs to run the ball straight at them, run them down their throat. Braylon Allen is one of the best running backs in all of college football, and you need to go right into the teeth of that Cougar defense. Here's a couple more points to keep in mind. The first 2 drives of that Idaho game for Washington State, they put it on the ground. 2 fumbles. They fumbled later in the game. 3 total fumbles on turnovers in that game for Washington State against Idaho. If I'm Wisconsin, rip at the ball. Rip at the ball. They have shown poor ball security. I'm ripping at that ball to try to create turnovers. And then one other thing to kind of keep in mind. Washington State struggled against an FCS Idaho team. 24-17 win. Washington State did not score in that game until the 3:13 mark of the second quarter. This is a game when I look at it, I see, yeah, Washington State could be a challenge for Wisconsin. I'm not saying it's going to be a big challenge or a small challenge. It's just a challenge. I think there's going to be some things where Wisconsin is going to have to adjust as this game goes on, but there's too much physicality up front for Wisconsin. There's too much talent on the Badgers side, offense and defensive side of the football. And if we know anything about Wisconsin football, they're not going to let a quarterback run around all day on them. You've got to hit Cam Ward. That's the thing. When I looked at the tape against Idaho, they let him get out, and they didn't hit him. There were not a lot of square hits to the quarterback. If you hit Cam Ward, he might get more fatigued, and he's going to take a beating as this game goes on. That's how Wisconsin wants to play ball. You need to get pressure on Cam Ward, wrap him up, bring him down, hit him, and I think you're going to have a good day at the office if you are the Wisconsin Badgers in this football game. I want to run it 30, 40 times. I don't want Graham Mertz to throw it more than 20 times. If he's got to throw it more than 20 times, it means maybe our running game isn't as good as I want it to be. Do you think Wisconsin is going to roll over Washington State? Or is this one going to be a little bit closer at Camp Randall? Is the passing game going to be able to do things at Washington State against this Wisconsin secondary? Leave your thoughts, comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I am Big Ten Ted. We will see you in the next one.